new wheels. A little pre-celebration for the big day, huh?
I'm making partner, baby. Time to break that glass ceiling.
We all know who deserves this. Give it up for our Summit Worldwide Sports Management's newest partner. Whoa! Allie, that pass was actually to Eddie.
All right.
Welcome to Magic Hour. I'm Paul Chappell, and today we are reviewing What Men Want. Okay, I think this is the first time I've actually hate watched a movie, because I was going to see this the other night with my wife. She got sick, so I had to go alone, and I pretty much knew from the go that it was going to be a bad movie, because I looked at Rotten Tomatoes. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I did, and I went in knowing that it was going to be bad. I mean, you saw the opening. The whole premise of this movie is that Taraji P. Henson, who plays Cookie on Empire, she drank some tea or whatever, meets up with a psychic, and she also hits her head. So I don't know whether it was the tea or hitting her head. They don't really explain that. It doesn't matter one way or the other. But she gets the power to read men's thoughts. She figures out what men want. Because at her job, she's been accused of not knowing what men want. Even though she has more clients, she works as a sports agent. She's brought in more customers or clients than any other person in the firm, but still she doesn't get made partner because, as her boss says, she can't attract a really big talent. Those guys who at the top of the draft, the basketball draft or NFL draft or whatever. So she needs to reach down inside herself to figure out what exactly men want, even though it's not that drastically different from what women want, even though, yes, there's more subtleties with women, obviously. But the whole premise of this movie is flawed, because here's the thing. Men as a whole tell you exactly what they want. I mean, that's part of the problem, right? And that list is very short. And what we find out throughout the film is that one of the main things they want, okay, hold the phone, people. Here it is. One of the main things they want is sex. Yes, right. You heard me. Men want sex. Imagine that. I would say about 70% of what she overhears while she's listening to these men in her office, or just them daydreaming about having sex with women, looking at any woman that walks by, thinking what they want to do to her. And as a man, I have to say that this wasn't totally off the mark. I would also say that men want to eat. That's a big thing on their list. I actually try to make a list of what men want before doing this review, and seriously, I got 4 things, and 2 of those things are sex. Regular sex and dirty sex. Okay. The third thing I have on the list, well, this is the list: sex, food, sports, or games. Because see, not every man likes sports, but even men who don't like sports, you find your geekiest nerd on the planet, I guarantee you he likes to play video games or some other type of sport that's not officially the type of sports that you physically play, but they like something. So that was my list: sex, food, sports, games, or sex, dirty sex. So going in, this movie had a big problem because you can't make a movie searching for something that's painfully obvious. It would be like making a movie about a search for leprechaun gold, and the gold sitting up on the mantle of the adventurer's house the whole time. I mean, that's pretty much why the whole premise of the movie did not work, and why pretty much everything I thought was funny about the movie they show you in the trailer is one of those films. And I went in thinking, hey, at least it has Tracy Morgan, right? But even Tracy Morgan, they didn't really give him much to do. Tracy Morgan is playing the father of a basketball player who's first in the draft, who Taraji, her character, is trying to sign. Her character, oddly enough, is named Ali. So they give her a male name. There's an awkward sex scene she has with a guy during a one-night stand. And the whole gist of the joke of the scene is that she's too assertive, which I thought was weird, because if you're trying to draw the point that this woman doesn't understand men, and you have her acting like a man and give her a man's name, doesn't that undercut your primary premise that this woman doesn't understand men? It seems like she understands men only too well, because, like I said, she has a one-night stand. She doesn't get emotional about it. That's a very guy thing. In fact, the only reason she engages with this guy, played by Aldous Hodge, the only reason she really engages him later is that Tracy Morgan's character says that he can't trust anybody who doesn't have a family. So she draws in this guy named Will, played by Aldous Hodge, and pretends like they're, unbeknownst to Will, she pretends that they're married. And that his son from his dead ex-wife, not dead ex-wife, his dead wife, she pretends that that's her little boy. So, hijinks ensue just from the fact that this guy doesn't even know what's going on. All he knows is that she's inviting him to these skybox at a basketball game, and he wants to take his son. And, so he tags along with her while she's trying to impress Tracy Morgan's character, because she desperately wants to sign his son. So it's that type of movie. Like I said, I they didn't really have much to go on, because, like I said, everything men want, we pretty much tell women. And, I mean, maybe that's less so in the Me Too era. You kind of have to edit what you want to tell women, or what you want to reveal to them, because nobody wants to be accused of being a harasser. But let's face it, women know what we want, and that's their power over us. So the fact that Taraji doesn't understand that was kind of unbelievable to me, and it didn't really help that she didn't have much. There was some comedy in the film, but like I said, most of the things I found funny were in the trailer. There was a few things, a few reveals that I thought were kind of funny, but when I went to see this movie in the theater, there was very few people there, so even those jokes kind of fell flat, because I would have imagined if the room was full of people, the reveals would have been a lot funnier just for the audience. It was one of those type of movies you really had to have an audience to appreciate some of the humor. And they had a scene, a fist fight in a church, stuff like that. And like I said, that kind of stuff really plays well if you're watching with a audience, but in an empty theater, it didn't really play as well. So I'll just have to say, I give this movie 2 thumbs down. I wouldn't waste your time. I mean, it's one of those movies you wait to see on Netflix and you turn off after like 20 minutes. And I hate to say that because Taraji is a rising star. She was in Hidden Figures. She was excellent in Hidden Figures. She's had an action movie that I didn't think did do too well. She's just a dynamic actor. And I hate to just say this about one of her movies, but I just did not care too much about this movie. This movie had Richard Roundtree in it, Shaft himself. It had Erykah Badu. So it's not that they didn't have some talent in the movie. They had this guy from Saturday Night Live, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'll put a picture up of him. But they had some good talent, but they wasn't given much to work with. So that's about it for What Men Want. And I'd like to thank my new subscribers, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Give me a like and tell me what you think in the comments. And that's all I got for today, and I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.